Okay, we're starting
It
the...
actually says that my sound isn't working at all.
No.
I can hear you fine, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, we can hear him.
So
Okay.
you're seeing it hop between all the different people. I'll get the lights in a second, but what you're also seeing is that at the top right-hand corner, or in the top middle, it says that my sound isn't working, the microphone isn't working, so I couldn't record if I wanted to. But more importantly, we're not getting sound out, which is a problem. We can't hear them at all. We're not getting sound out. So we can't hear any of you at all. Can you hear me?
We can totally hear you.
Say no. Can you hear me, Shannon?
Yes.
We can't hear you at all. Bummer. Mrs. P is nodding too. Mrs. P can hear us.
I can hear you.
But we cannot hear anybody.
I'm going to mute myself. Okay, so let's kick off our Dot Day celebration because we want to get started since we have so many fun special guests. And so why don't we start with Craig's class, and you go ahead and introduce yourself and say where you're at.
Okay, well, I'm Craig Seychelles out in Seattle, Washington. And I have a group of fourth graders with me today. I'm going to do a quick of the class, and then when we're finished with the introductions, we'll do the Dot Day. But if my kids want to look at me and give a nice big wave, Ohio, the kids in Georgia, and the kids in, thank you. Okay, so that's Seattle, Washington.
Okay, Heather, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so I have a group of 4th and 5th graders. I'm going to try to pick my computer up here without disconnecting my projector. 4th and 5th graders, and we are from Amana, Iowa. So let me see if I could... Right.
Okay, how about Mr. Plemmons' class?
If our microphone unmutes.
Right here.
Maybe. There it goes. All right. Hi, I am Mr. Plemmons. I am a librarian in Athens, Georgia, and we are here with a 4th grade class, and we are right next to the University of Georgia. So we're going to do a Go Dogs for you. Ready? Go Dogs! Sing them!
Love it! Okay, and now I think I don't know if Matthew can hear us yet, but Matthew is an elementary teacher librarian, and I can't remember off the top of my head what school, but he's in Maryland.
Duckett's Lane.
Oh, there you are.
We don't have audio outside of the laptop, so it's really soft for us. I was looking for speakers, I can't find them.
Yeah.
But everyone at Duckett's Lane would like to wish you a happy Dot Day. There you go.
Okay, sorry, we're just trying to get our sound up too. So, Craig, do you want to kick us off with your kids?
Okay, well, we're in a transition here in Seattle. One class going to PE and one class coming in, but we thought we would share it. Whoever's has the great music going, we would love to mute that so that we could do the Dot Day song. I'm thinking, Elizabeth, you're not muted, and Shannon, you're not muted.
I'm not muted, but I hear that too, and it's not me, but I will.
Okay. Well, it sure is lovely and lively. I'll wait just a moment. Andy, are you muted? Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm very sorry. That's me in the background. crocheting. Here we go. Here's the dot song, everybody.
An empty paper,
Okay.
like a paper in a snowstorm. See where it takes you. See where it takes you. When you make the light, all you gotta do is start. Make it bad. Take it I wanna sing a song now. It's your signature album. See where it takes you. See where it takes you. Make the mark.
Make the mark.
Splatter, make the mark. Make it bad. Make it bad. Somebody else. They can't draw a line. I'm ready to know. That's good. Help them sound.
Ready?
Make a mark.
Make the mark.
All I gotta do is start.
Start.
Watch it smile. Make a mark. Make a mark.
Make the mark.
Make
All I gotta do is start. Watch it smile. Make a mark. Make it bad. Make it
Friends, I've had a new class come in to join us, and I want to thank you kids for helping us sing. Okay, back over to you, Shannon.
Well, let's kick this off, and we're going to have all of our guests. They're going to talk first and tell us something special about Dot Day and making our mark, and then we'll have time for questions. So we're going to kick it off with Mr. Forbes.
Hello, everybody. I'm up in the woods of New Hampshire, and in order to celebrate Dot Day, as a poet, I have written a little bit of a poem to share with everybody about Dot Day. You ready? Hooray, today is Dot Day. We'll have giggles and fun, making dots my way and your way. Make lots of dots, everyone. Use marker, computer, or paintbrush. Grab scissors, paper, and paste. Have fun with your imagination. Dots don't care where they're placed. If you can't draw, just make a mark. Let it be your bright spark. Now make another, there you go. Your dots are flowing. What a show. So join us and make dots on Dot Day in yellow, green, red, or blue, or black and white, or light gray, or purple. It's up to you. They can be large or teensy. You can make lots or just one. So what's in your imagination? Let's see all the dots you've done. So there we go. A little something for everybody for Dot Day.
Yay!
Why, thank you, Mrs. P.
You're welcome. And I like your dots behind you.
Well, I thought I'd get into the mood with that.
And it goes well with your stripes.
I've got a little variation here. So you're crazy for Dot Day too, aren't you?
Well, I am. I love Dot Day. In fact, I have a little Dot Day story that doesn't really have anything to do with dots, though, which is kind of funny. But I was at a school, and a little girl raised her hand, and she said to me, "What are you good at?" And I thought, oh my goodness, what am I good at? Well, I'm good at reading a book. I'm good at sitting on a chair. I'm good at hanging out on YouTube Live. I'm a good friend. I'm a good singer. I'm good at anything I want to be good at because it's my choice. And so I wanted to say to all the children that are watching, what are you good at? I think you need to go home and tell your parents what you're good at. And it could be something every single day, a different thing. I myself am good at something different every day. Every day is dot day for me. I'm either drawing a dot or I'm making up a song or a poem or just raking the leaves. Dot days every day, but let's celebrate it today. I'm very pleased to be here, and I'm always glad to see Mr. Forbes, whose poetry I really like.
Why, thank you, thank you. I'm crazy about Dot Day too, and I love your story. I think it's absolutely on the money.
Mr. Forbes, what are you good at?
Oh, I'm good at a lot of things. I'm very good at playing with my little dog.
Oh.
I love playing with words. I love being outdoors. I love walking around in my bare feet all the time.
Bare feet. That's fun.
Oh, yes.
I'm looking at Elizabeth. I'm wondering, what's your Dot Day story? Do you have something fun to tell us?
Yeah, I was actually not familiar with the Dot story until I got asked to do this event, and it was really cool to like read the book and realize that I think it's very applicable to my own life. I'm a professional musician, and that means I've toured all over the world playing music and playing music with other people, doing recordings. I also work for Cantata Learning and do the music direction for that. I just love their books. The one thing that really struck me as very important about the Dot book, as I'm sure all the kids in the audience are familiar with the book, was the very end. I really, really, really liked how Vashti was able to share what her encouragement, what her teacher taught her with her peer or her friend to encourage them. And I think that it's really, really important for all of us to think about how our actions and our words and whatever we do can really have an influence on other people and encourage them to find themselves and make their mark. And one of the ways that I've made my mark is through music. But when I started music, I was actually quite young, and I started on the violin. And I'm sure most people know what the violin is, are familiar with the violin. Let me grab my violin here, actually. Can everybody see? So let me just preface this. The violin is what I started with, but it's not what I ended with. This is actually wasn't quite my voice, but it was still music. So I want to just play it so you can eventually compare it to my other instrument that I really play and found kind of the same way that Vashti found her art. So that's just a short little sample of what the violin sounds like. So I started when I was about 3 or 4 on violin, but I actually wanted to quit music in 8th grade. But in 8th grade, I had somebody tell me, you know, I don't think you should quit music. I think you should just find your voice and find a way to make your mark, essentially. So I thought about it, and I realized that I do love music and that I want to play, but the violin wasn't actually quite for me. So I decided to change to the upright bass. Do you guys know what an upright bass is? Do other class kids know? Yeah? Okay, well, let me go grab my bass.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, you got it.
Pretend that I'm a bass, even though I'm not.
So my bass is actually so big that I don't even know if I'll be able to get it in the whole screen, but if you compare sizes, you can kind of tell here they're quite different. But the bass, when I found the bass, I discovered that was what I love to do, and I put all my energy into it and practiced it and actually was able to, let's see if I can do this, get a scholarship to music school, to go all over the world and meet new people and do different songs. So the bass. Or some of my favorite stuff to do, which is jazz. Excuse me. Which I could just play forever. So I guess my point is that maybe it might take a while for everybody to find what their special interests are, or what they really, really love to do, or what they feel like they can share with others. But don't give up. Search very hard and find it. And it can be anything. It can be, you know, knowing what all the plant names on your walk to school are, or knowing if you see a mushroom growing, if it's edible or not, or if it's safe to eat. Or it can be visual arts, or painting, or in my case, music, or just being a good friend, and knowing, just like in the book, that although you might feel a little shy about something, or that it might not be quite for you, give it a chance, and it just might be.
I think you've made two really good points, Elizabeth. And the one, you know, one day you might be really good at dots, and the next day you might really be good at just leaving footprints in the dirt. And the day after that, you could be really good at reading, or like you said, making friends. You know, that's the thing. You could be really good at the violin, and then be really good at the bass, and then one day go, I think I'll play the tuba. You know, there's no limits. You can be whatever you want, any day, any time. It's about choice. And also, I just can't agree enough about how once you make a dot, well, the best thing to do is to share that with someone and to help them make a dot. So that's a really important point about Dot Day. Don't you agree, Shannon McClintock Miller? Dot Day for everyone. Rah, 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 rah.
We totally agree, right? Everybody here? Yes. Happy Dot Day.
Happy Dot Day. Does anyone have any questions for any of us, do you think?
Yeah, why don't we start with, let's start with Mr. Plemmons' class, since he's the first one on my screen here.
Make a mark. I'm going to sing that all day. Make a mark.
I know. Yeah. She would love to. Well, why don't we go on to Andy? Are your kids ready for the question? Oh, good.
Yes, we're ready. Sorry.
Okay.
We couldn't get a microphone on.
It's okay.
Come on up. All right, come right here so they can see. All right, who is your question? All right, so this is a question for Mrs. P. All right.
What inspired you of reading?
Need a translation. Technology, while not always our best friend. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
What inspired you
Of reading.
to read?
Yeah.
What inspired me to read? Thank you. And I love your hair, both of you. All right. The thing that inspired me to read was words. I'm like Mr. Forbes. I really like words. I like the word vibrant. Oh, there's such a difference in the word color and then vibrant color. I like words that describe things, that make your imagination start to twirl and whirl around and go, oh, I want to see vibrant colors. I don't think there's anything more fun than words, except possibly eating an ice cream cone while I sit in a field and talk about words. But words. And also I find that reading satisfies not only my imagination, but my curiosity, because I am so curious all the time. That's why I seem so young, because you could be 300 years old, I'm not, and have boundless curiosity and still be young. So that's it. Words, curiosity, imagination, fun. Okay, thank you. Nice question.
Okay, how about Craig's class?
Oh, it looks like everybody's drawing.
I'm unmuted. They're all working hard. They've been doing dots. They did a little dot day sharing yesterday. Lucy, do you want to tell people about your dots?
Stop, you just keep
Lucy, you want to tell them?
You can look in there.
circles around it, and this is made.
You want to hold it up for them?
It has circles and swirls. Nice work. Christopher, do you want to tell them about your dots?
Nope.
Okay. You called it a solar system dot. Show them your
Wait, I'm not done.
show them that one.
I'm done. I'm done.
Sarah, do you want to tell us about yours?
It's pink and black and
Pink and black and peach. Thank you.
peach.
I
Peach
love
color.
your beautiful containers that hold your colors. Those are fantastic. The green and the purple. Oh my goodness. Are they full of crayons? I want
They
them.
are. So they're always out and ready. When we read a story, we usually draw and write at the same time. Christopher, tell them about your picture and we'll move on. What do we got? Here, show it to me. Yep. What are you going to tell them? What do you want to tell them? Okay.
Sarah, you're not better than the funnies are the big ones.
Okay. Show the big one.
Hey, okay, I got it.
There.
Oh, that's worthy of applause. I want wallpaper like that. I want that
That's right.
all across my dining room.
Solar system dots. Well, thank you.
Wow. That's excellent.
That's awesome. Heather, go ahead.
All right, come on over. You might recognize this boy.
Car? My nephew.
My question is for Mrs. B. Have you been telling stories since you were little?
Oh, yes, thank you very much. I love those dots, and after I hang up, I'm going to go do that to my own face. Go to the grocery store today. You know, they said that I was born telling a story. I was actually born, and I said, oh, hello, I'm born. Well, hello, doctor, to everyone. Picked up my chart. I said, oh, you named me Mrs. P. That's fantastic. And then I spun a story all about it. So telling stories since birth. I've got a little name tag that says that.
I love it. Shannon, do we have time for one more? Okay.
Let's say yes.
All right, this is Kaylee. So this one's for Mr. Forbes.
What inspires your poetry?
What inspired my poetry? I get inspiration all over the place. But you know where most of it comes from? It's that one thing that every one of us has, Mrs. P referred to it as well, and that's imagination. I love to look out the window, stare off into space, let my mind go off in different directions, but I also listen a lot to what's going on around me. I read. That opens up all sorts of worlds. So I get inspiration for my poetry everywhere. And as we were talking about earlier, words. I'm always looking for fun words to use. I mean, think about dot day. Are we excited? Are we nuts for it? Are we batty for it? Are we dotty for it? All those different ways you can say the same thing, but you find the words that express something about you. That's the fun part of writing.
Awesome.
Guys.
Okay.
And now I don't actually see Matthew's class anymore. So why don't we go back to Andy and Craig? Why don't you guys ask one more question each?
My friends are having to walk out to lunch, so they're giving you a wave goodbye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Hey, kids have another question?
You know what? I was wondering something. Do you?
Lucy,
I want to play a guitar, you know.
say it again.
I can play a guitar.
She can play a guitar. Talk to me about how much you like to play guitar.
I love to play so much.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about playing music, would you please?
I wanted to know, Elizabeth, what other instruments do you play besides the violin and the upright bass?
Well, I actually, right behind me, you can kind of look here. You can see. Wait, I gotta go down the piano. So I play a little. So I play a little piano. I play the electric bass. I don't play any woodwinds. Do you guys know what woodwind instruments are? Clarinet, saxophone. I don't play any of those. I play some drums. My dad's a drummer, so drum set and some hand percussion instruments. A little bit of guitar, and maybe that's it. A little bit of cello.
I think playing an instrument, no matter what kind, if it's just, humming, makes it easier for you to walk down the street. I find I have a lot more coordination because I think of myself as a musician, even if I'm not. Mr.
Well, I think that's a good point. I think everybody is a musician, whether or not you think you are or not. I mean, if you hum to yourself, if you sing, if you tap your foot, if you're just open to it, almost the same way that Vashti didn't think that she was a visual artist or a painter.
Would you like to pretend and sing?
Musicians, but I think that everybody actually deep inside could be and is if you just are given the chance to do it.
I agree. Mr. Forbes, do you play an instrument?
I don't play much of it. I listen to music all the time, and I make up music all the time. I'm always having things rolling around in my head that I put to tunes and that sort of thing. When I was young, though, I did play an instrument you don't hear very often here. That's the bagpipes.
Ooh, wow.
That makes a lot of noise when you start that up.
Oh my goodness, that's
what it sounds like. And when you make a wrong note on it, it sounds like you've stepped on a cat.
I don't even think those instruments are legal in the middle of the city. They're so loud.
They are very loud. You want a lot of space around you.
I love them.
That's so fun. You could just...
Everybody, thank you for celebrating Dot Day with us. And it was so much fun. And I hope everybody continues to have fun. And Carson, I hope you wear those dots all day, buddy.
Thank you, Shannon McClintock Miller, for
Yay. Thank you for putting it together.
Happy Dot Day, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
all day. Mother.